Hey friend, thanks so much for joining me for another Transition Insights Bulletin, brought to you by Jarrod H. hashtag heck yeah, with the Liberty Accelerator Program. And today I stumbled across a fantastic article written back in March of 2021. And the Hill has a couple of opinion writers here that wrote a opinion piece on military transition, Dr. Nick Armstrong and Daniel Perkins. Daniel Perkins has founded the Clearinghouse for Military Family Readiness and appears to be doing some great work in the military transition landscape. Sorry about that, let me pull that back up. He is fixing this problem that we've got with military transition, but I'll read this to you since it's hard to read. Clearinghouse for Military Family Readiness at Penn State partners with professionals working with military families and veterans to promote family readiness and resiliency using evidence-based programs and practices. We help professionals choose and apply the right evidence-based programs and practices for the right families and communities at the right time. I love all of that. That's all fantastic. Fantastic mission. More specifically, this team assists in the planning and preparing for implementation, evaluation, and sustainability of a program or practice. They also strive to connect professionals with the necessary tools and resources to assist them in enhancing military family readiness and well-being. And the only question I've got after reading that description is, how does the Clearinghouse for Military Family Readiness actually define military family readiness? Because us here at the Liberty Accelerator Program, we define it in a different way that most, I don't think, have to date. So Dr. Nick Armstrong, I'll introduce you to him. He is Managing Director for Research and Data at the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. He's been there for about 7 years, it looks like, and he is a West Point grad. So hopefully one day me and him will get to chat. But he has, a lot of operations and customer success experience. Good Bachelor of Science at West Point. I'm a Bachelor of Science myself, geology side. Texas A&M, and he is into the corporate philanthropy, higher education, and other stuff. But right here's the article we are reviewing. And hey, look at that. Our follower count on LinkedIn is pretty close. I think I just hit 2621 earlier today. So we're right there neck and neck. All right, so that's an introduction to the authors. Now we will get on into the meat of this article. And I will forewarn the viewer, there's some things that I completely agree with, and I'm extremely glad that these two gentlemen wrote about, and there's some others where I believe they completely missed the mark. And I'm gonna highlight that as well. So we'll get to it right here. Yeah, they start off with the military homecomings and the hero comes home and all that greatness, and yeah, that's all warm and fuzzy. But the fact of the matter is, there's some hurting behind the curtain. And that's why the Liberty Accelerator Program exists, to pull that curtain back and figure out how we can really, truly ensure military families are ready for their service member to never come home, or for their hero to go with them into life beyond uniform service. Right here, they highlight that the eventual transition from military to civilian life can be especially difficult. And that's completely true. Note this here, seeking a new identity. We're going to come back to this in a little bit, because this is the center of gravity around the entire military transition readiness. And I believe it is the Achilles heel to what everyone is trying to do in this space today. All right. Agree that the effects of COVID-19 have made this harder. However, I disagree that it was COVID-19 specifically. It was the government's response to COVID-19 is what's really put us in the hurt locker, and that is what we've got to overcome. And that's going to affect the job market. It's going to put downward pressure on wages, and it's also going to make the service member do transition differently. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So let's see. They're right in saying that every member must participate in the DoD program that's called TAP, Transition Assistance Program. And for all my viewers out there, don't confuse that with TAPS. There is no DoD TAPS. That's not a thing. TAPS doesn't exist as a government program. However, you'll be happy to know that the Liberty Accelerator Program solution TAPS does exist, and it is ready for you today. Our TAPS is called Transition Acceleration Project Solutions, and it exists over the course of a 5-year planning horizon, because the Achilles heel is that we think transition planning happens toward the end of service, and that's completely wrong. And that's why we're in the pickle that we are in today. So yeah, that's all good stuff. But let me point out that yes, the government solution is insufficient to support a successful transition. We also want to come down here and highlight that this is wrong. This is just plain outright wrong. The most pivotal component of a service member's transition is not finding a career, but you explicitly say that it is. The most important part the most pivotal thing is finding the new identity well ahead of that transition time period and way before that liberty date. Because everything we do, all the decisions we're making, depend upon finding that identity again, finding out who we are at our core and what our purpose in this life is going to be beyond the rank, beyond the weapons platform and service branch. That's where this starts. That's the only way change is going to happen. Additionally, the article mentions that we want to bring together or assemble groups to help. A lot of this stuff here at the end of the article, I agree with from the jobs perspective, but we're missing the point. It's not a focus on the job is the problem. The focus on the job is the problem. Now let me conclude with this right here. The private, social, and public sectors must come together in partnership to support this process. But gentlemen, you've left out one key component of this team. That's the military family. Military veterans don't want handouts. We want opportunity. We don't need to be handheld. We need to be informed. We need to be educated for real, outside of the ivory towers. We need to have a process in place that equips us with the information we need at the time we need it to make the right decision for our family. And we need these things from the earliest days in service, like upon completion of the training pipelines, or now, no matter our time horizon, to that inevitable last day on active duty, with or without the military family's hero, that being their service member and sponsor. All right then, I really appreciate you guys writing this article. I really appreciate the efforts to take care of the military family. I myself am in transition myself right now. I am living this. I am breathing it. I am speaking with peers, seniors, and subordinates about it. And I think if we can all come together and drive toward an intentional, informed solution to equip our people, truly take care of them, that we're going to change military families' lives. And then as veterans, we're going to change our world. So this is Jarrod H. Smith, #HeckYeah, and I'm signing off from the Smith Circle. Good seeing you.